I know there's a lot of hype over Dubsado these days, so I wanted to give you all a quick overview of how it gets started, starting with your free trial. So Dubsado has a unique thing where their free trial is for 3 clients or customers, and there is no expiration date. So many other systems will give you 14 days as a free trial, or will give you 30 days as a free trial. This is 3 clients or customers, and you can use the system as long as you want, which is great because it does take a little time to set up your processes. So let's get started. Let's put in name, referral code, and sign up. First thing you'll do is have you set up your brand a little bit. You can always do this later, and I want to jump in, so we'll go ahead and do this a little later. Let's see what information is required. We need the address information is required, so let's do that really quick. All right, so this is your lovely dashboard. You can see up here that we have 3 clients remaining on the trial, and you can subscribe. So I really recommend you following kind of this setup for getting started. So first is create your packages. On the packages, you want to think about, what am I offering? What kind of things am I going to package together? And how much do I want to charge for those packages? To find where you create packages, we're going to go under templates. A lot of the things to kind of get started and get the system ready are under templates. So we'll go templates and packages. And there are some sample packages, which is really nice. So sample package 1, an item in my package is 5,000. It's a simple 1 item package. This one has 2 things, and it automatically adds up and puts the total amount. And this one's another simple one. And then what I really like is that you can do add-ons, and you can highlight the add-ons in your proposals. So these are 2 sample add-ons. So let's go in and create one. I really like starting from something when I'm doing a new app, just because then I can see kind of where they've put in the information. So let's go ahead and copy sample 1. We'll see the little copy symbol over here over sample package 1. And now we see sample package 1 copy. So then what we want to do is click on the little cog wheel. And this took a little bit, but the drop down here has an edit. And here we go. So item in my package. Let's say this is going to be web design or potty training, level 1, or business consultation. Any of these work, whatever service, whatever product you're doing, these can be included in the packages. Description. If you have more than 1 description item, so let's say we do another line, then it will start to do bullets for us automatically. Price, that's self-explanatory. The quantity, if this is going to be like a monthly thing, then maybe it's 12. And then the price is going to be per month, and then the item total will be calculated. If there's a tax, you can add the tax here. There's a sample tax. You can also go to new tax item and put the name. So maybe sales and 10%. And it adds it there. And then lastly, the category. This can be, I like to do a category of service and maybe products, or maybe you do a service, a category of something of sales. There are certain types. There's a sales, services, and non-operating. So maybe we call this consultations because it's a type of consultation that we'll create. Go create, and it creates the categories. So now that category is created. Okay, it's gonna error out on me there. Now that category is created, and we can get to it in future packages. So we have a description, we have an item name. Last thing I want to do up here is change this. So Techie Mama, or we'll call it consultation small. And then click on the checkbox. And then click on Save Item over here. So that's save the checkbox, save the title of the package, and the Save Item, save the item. Now, if we want to add another item that always comes with a business consultation, let's say we have a follow-up call. And follow-up call, discuss plan. So 1, and maybe that is included with the price, so that would be 0, or maybe it's like $45 extra, but it's a package deal, so you can't really set it apart. And our consultation services is still there, so we'll do add item. It didn't save that part, so let's go in. Go into save. And it's going to error out. So sometimes, since everything is kind of getting created on the fly, it's hard to save it to the system and to retrieve it right away. So sometimes when this happens, like the uncategorized, I cannot get to consultations. What we want to do is just refresh the browser. I'm just doing Apple R or Control R. Also go up to the menu bar and go up to, I believe it's under Edit or Chrome. Yeah, I don't know where it is. View. Reload this page. And that will make sure that we get the item back. So let's go back into Edit. And we can select the tax. There's our tax that we want, and there's our consultation. And we'll go back to save, and there's our package. So then if we want to go to return to packages, we'll see that we now have the consultation small and then all of the sample packages. And a discount. A discount is nice. I've used this before in my packages where I have a discount for, you know, a referral or a deal that I made, whatever it is. Keeping track of your discounts is good as well. So this is our step 1. If we go back to our dashboard, we can go and say we've created our packages. Payment schedules is another thing that is kind of a setup before you get started with anything. So again, it's going to be under templates, and we're going to go to payment schedules. Again, there's some samples. There's one sample payment schedule. This is upfront and then 14 days after the invoice is created. So I like to, again, go by something that's already created. So I can go in and edit this one. You can't copy payment schedules, so it would just make sense to go in and edit this and say this is the 20% 80. 20% upfront, 80% remaining. Can do things here like 0 days after invoice is created. If you want to have it to be 0 days, and I went over here to the cogwheel, that's always the settings. So this is a relative, 0 days after applied to invoice. You can also do 0 days after the job starts, or after the contract is signed. I like to do one of these. These actually happen automatically for me. The contract is signed and the invoice goes out automatically. So either one of those works well for me. You can also do fixed. This limits you though, because if you apply it to a specific invoice, then it's going to have the fixed dates that you pick here. So I recommend using relative for sure. And then the amount here, so let's say instead of 20 up front, we wanted 50 up front. And it's not going to let us because it's weird, because we already have 80 here. So let's make this, we'll edit this one first, and we'll make this, if we want 50 up front, then we want 50 at the due date. And so then now we can change this to 50. And apply. So now we have a 50-50 setup. If we edit this one, you'll notice that there's a lot more going on in this pop-up. So we have the send date, because this doesn't happen automatically with the contract creation or the invoice when it first goes out. So we need to send reminders to our clients. So on the send date, we'll get 2 days before the due date, there's a payment reminder, and this is a canned email that you can modify. And then 2 days after the due date, we'll get a payment reminder, but it's going to be with a past due template. So that's always nice. Again, these can also be fixed, but I don't recommend that in the templates because then you're fixed to a specific date, and that won't always work for future projects that are in the future. All right, so we have our 50-50. I'm going to change our title here. And go ahead and save. And there's our little payment schedule. So you can create payment schedules however you like. I have one client that wants to pay like 20% per month for a little bit. That kind of divides it up, and it's an ongoing project, so I feel comfortable with that. Some like to pay everything up front. Depending on the item and depending on the price, you may need to get some other different payment schedules than the ones that are default here. And also just depending on how you have your contract set up, you might have something very specific in mind that you need to abide by. All right, so our second one is complete. And for right now, I'm going to go ahead and stop this video, and we'll continue on in just a minute. And we'll go and do the craft contracts, proposals, and questionnaires, and also create a job. So hopefully this is helping you get started, and we'll be back for part 2.